The following is an exclusive presentation of the Carolina Panthers and the National Football League. This week on the Panthers Huddle, Coach Dave Canales reflects on a barn burner here at the bank and looks ahead to our first showdown of the season with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Plus, step inside TD's film room as the Panthers legend whips up a recipe to bake the Bucs. Welcome inside the Panthers Huddle.
Welcome inside the Panthers Huddle. I'm Kristen Balboni. Last Sunday here at Bank of America Stadium was an exciting one between the Panthers and the Kansas City Chiefs. The Panthers tied it up with just seconds left on the clock. Now, unfortunately, the Chiefs came back and kicked a field goal to win it. And while it didn't go the Panthers' way, there were still some really exciting moments in this game. We're going to take a look back at them right now in this week's Bojangles Rewind.
Two straight wins for the Panthers, now facing the two-time Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. A measuring test to see how far this Panther team has come from early in the season. Kelsey motions, Horn stays with him. Mahomes the snap, first drop back, steps up in the pocket, floats it over the middle. Noah Gray, touchdown Kansas City.
That's certainly not a start that you want.
Bryce Young leading the offense. He's got Adam Thielen back on first down. Young, quick throw. There's Thielen, far side 35. First catch since week 3 against Las Vegas. Young in the pocket, throws over the middle. Moore makes the catch. Bryce throws downfield for Leggett, makes the catch of the 20.
Bryce is looking comfortable, did a good job picking up blitzes early in this game, so good start for us on offense.
13-6, Kansas City. Mahomes shotgun snap, looking to set up the screen, finds Hunt, and he is devoured back at the 20-yard line. The safety with the TFL. Mahomes rolling right, he's hit, and down he goes!
Just straight length from Jadeveon Clowney.
Backside pressure, and the Panthers get home. The sack by DJ Wanham. Chiefs crowding the box. Here's the snap. The give, no, the throw to the end zone! Caught for a touchdown!
It's a great catch, almost a one-handed catch.
David Moore, have yourself an afternoon. A 2nd and 10, shotgun snap, quick throw on the slant, incomplete, they get a flag.
JC's trying to make a play on the football, and they just collide at the same point, and I feel for him on that play.
Now another penalty, that's 7 on the Panthers tonight. Now a jump throw caught by Hopkins for a Kansas City touchdown. 27-19, still a one-score game. Here's the blitz off the edge, Mahomes hit, and down he goes! It's J.C. Horn.
JC, Patrick never saw him.
4:26 left. Mahomes boots to his left, running out of an angle. And tracked down from behind for a sack. It's Josie Jewell. Mahomes steps up, nowhere to go. Crunched. Deshaun Williams and Jadeveon Clowney. The Panthers pass rush is here. Young, 244 yards, the same as Mahomes. Chest high snap, here comes the pressure. Bryce, quick throw in the flat, Thielen makes the catch. First down Carolina at the 2-minute warning. Young with a clean pocket, flushed right, throws deep downfield for Thielen. And a flag on the play, it's incomplete. The Panthers will have the ball on the doorstep. Hubbard the running back, snap, give to Chuba, right side, Chuba plows into the end zone. Carolina, a 2-point conversion from tying it up. Hubbard's the deep back, the snap, it's Chuba plowing forward, conversion good. We're tied at 27 with 1:46 to go. Fourth quarter, the Chiefs have all 3 timeouts. Mahomes out of the gun, eluding the pursuit. Rolling left, Mahomes angles across the 50.
Oh, no.
He's got the 45 and finally pushed out by Fuller at the 20-yard line. The Chiefs will run this down and set up for a chip shot field goal to win the ball game. Final score 30-27, and the Panthers have pushed this 9-1 Kansas City team to the brink.
Up next, Coach Canales is here to talk about going toe-to-toe with the defending champs on the Panthers Huddle. This exclusive presentation of the Carolina Panthers Television Network is brought to you in part by Bank of America, the official bank of the Carolina Panthers.
Welcome back to the Huddle. I'm here now with head coach Dave Canales. Coach, what a game against the Chiefs. And I just want to know, even though it was a loss, what did you learn about this team that maybe you didn't know in the last 2 wins?
Well, I think the thing that showed up again was the finish. Our guys just continuing to play hard for each other for the whole time that they're out there. And so that showed up again. I think, what we're learning is we're seeing some great chemistry being built on the offensive side in the pass game, just finding that rhythm, which will give us an opportunity to really play the balanced type of offense that we want to and do that. And then I thought, our pass rush, 5 sacks, and all those things coming to life are things that I felt like we took great steps and great strides in. So learning a lot about that.
Absolutely, and we're certainly going to get into those specific moments in just a second. But I want to ask you, I think you've heard a lot about this week, about a moral victory versus, it really stinging that you weren't able to come away with the win. How do you handle that? How do you think about that?
For me, it's always a weekly focus. The focus is on us and our execution. So as we look at the game and you watch the film, we see the opportunities missed. I see calls I'd like to have back. I see tackles I'd love for our guys to make. I see catches I'd love for us to make. Some critical areas where, Pat was able to extend plays, and keep drives going. And so I just look at it that way. I have to. The guys should feel that if we make plays and when we execute, we can play with anybody. And that's the truth of it, and it all starts out by taking care of the ball, which is what we talk about. And when you do that, you put yourselves in a chance to win every game, and that's what happened.
I want to ask you about some of these plays. So let's go to the third quarter, 45 seconds left in that quarter, 3rd and 8. Panthers are down by 11. Kansas City brings 7 guys, and then we see Bryce make this 17-yard completion to David Moore. Can you walk us through that?
This is a group that's really growing to trust each other. The anticipation on that throw for Bryce to be able to hit his back foot and say, David's going to be exactly where he needs to be when I need him to be there. That's where we're headed, and that's what we're growing to, is those guys learning to trust each other and that's how you can play fast, and that's how you can, find completions against a really aggressive play call right there. And so I was really proud of us coming away with that.
All right, another one, 4th quarter, game on the line, 2 minutes left, 4th and 3, Panthers are down 8, and then Kansas City brings 8. So can you give us the thought process leading up to the play that you called?
First of all, in that situation right there, it's like, okay, this is got to have it situation, and this is a thing that we talk about on Saturday nights, and we kind of look through our call sheet and say, okay, 3rd or 4th and critical, these are the couple of calls that this defense has made, and that was a call that we all decided, talking to Bryce, talking to the coaches, and we all said, this is a call we're gonna make given that situation, and there it was, and Bryce was able to get us to the line. He checked the protection. He got it all situated. The guys executed at a high level. He threw an accurate ball. And so it's just a really cool moment for all those things to come together at the right time to give us a chance to tie the game up.
So Pro Football Focus said after, they do all of those different things, they take all these things into account, and they said with all of that Bryce had 5 big-time throws. I know we just went through a couple of them. Was there one that you thought was the biggest time or was the most impressive to you?
I just loved the early in the game, the big 40-yard completion to Xavier, because that's our offense. Yeah. When you can run the ball and then you can have play action shots down the field of 40 or more, that's who we are. That's who we want to be, and that hasn't come to life consistently for us. The run game has been there, but it's those explosive plays that we need to become us. And so that's probably, that one and the 4th down throw.
Yeah.
But those are. The play action one is just kind of like, that's us moment.
Yeah. You speak about consistency and taking steps. To what do you attribute Bryce's improvement each game?
It goes way back, and it's just the progression he's taken every week of just pressing into the game plans, being involved in all the conversations of how we're trying to attack, having answers to different things. And then when he got his opportunity, building week after week, and then applying the lessons from this game to the following week of practice and then to the next game. Collecting more lessons and applying it to the next game. And so that's what he's been doing, is just stacking days and stacking weeks. And that's what I'm most proud of about what he's doing.
I want to ask you about one guy. We talked a little bit about him, but he had a great game, David Moore. So he was with you in Seattle and then also last year in Tampa Bay. What do you like about the way he plays that has encouraged you to bring him to different places where you're coaching?
He's a pro's pro. He is a guy that I've watched become a man, become a dad, become a professional. Drafted him in 2017. I was the wide receivers coach. And to see how far he's grown over the years, and a guy that you can just count on, his greatest ability has been availability. If he's not sure about something, he asks questions and he studies. He does whatever it takes to make sure he's ready so that he can help his team. He's a great teammate. He's got an infectious laugh, all those things. And so he's one of my all-time favorites. And so I was so glad that he came here. I had a chance to bring him in.
I can see why the two of you would get along so well. Let's talk about the defense a little bit. So they just showed remarkable improvement, especially in the second half. To what do you attribute that to?
Communication. I attribute that to guys being committed to each other, and also to great coaching. Ajero, his staff. And then we've gotten some players back, and the communication, it takes a step up when Jordan Fuller's in there. When we have DJ Wanham on the other side of Jadeveon Clowney, the pass rush is real, and Shai and Ashawn have been playing their best football inside. Josie Jewell's just running all over the field, making plays. Trevin's playing faster, so all these guys improving and working together is really the results that we're starting to see.
You mentioned the pass rush, 5 sacks, as you said, against Mahomes, the season high for this team, and I believe the most he's been sacked in quite some time. I want to take you to one specifically, that one that you guys got when you needed it, Jadeveon Clowney, Deshaun Williams, when the game was on the line. Take me through that sack.
Yeah, just critical to put them behind the sticks and have to force them to make some, pretty important decisions about giving us the ball back with a bunch of time to try to score. And so our defense gave us the ball back twice, 2 series in a row. The first one we went 3 and out. Then they gave it back to us again to give us a chance to tie it up.
That was an incredible sequence of events. So before we move on to talking about Tampa Bay, I of course want to ask you about Ja'Tavion Sanders. How has the team rallied around him?
Yeah, he was back in the building the same day. It was a really scary moment, but they got him back in there to start treating him, to start, really addressing the neck injury. And thank God we avoided a catastrophic injury. But he's not completely, all ready to go yet. He's still very sore, as you can imagine. The type of impact he took. But the guys just all showed him love on the field, and when he came back into the stadium, there was a lot of people kind of checking on him.
Coming up, Coach Canales previews our Week 13 showdown with Baker and the Bucs on the Panthers Huddle. Closed captioning for the Panthers Television Network is provided by Charlotte Eye, Ear, Nose, and Throat Associates, providing premier eye and ENT care to North and South Carolina.
All right, we got to talk now about your opponent this upcoming week. Team that you are very familiar with, Tampa Bay, and certainly their quarterback. You were its offensive coordinator last year, and he had some career highs under you. So tell me about Baker Mayfield.
He's a great teammate. He loves being on the field every day. He enjoys it. He's got a real passion about it. He's chippy as all get out. He's talking to the defensive players. He's talking to the coaches. And he rallies his guys.
And we know that he can scoot, right? And that was something that this defense struggled against with Patrick Mahomes. So what is the plan? What does this defense need to do to contain him?
It starts with the run game, and it starts with stopping the run. This is a team that's been really efficient with the run game, and they're building, with Rashad White and with Bucky Irving, these guys, and then Sean Tucker, who was with us last year. So they have a good mixture there. Their line is solid, and so, but if we can really attack the run game and force them to pass so that we know they're passing, then we can get our pass rush going and try to attack Baker and that group.
You mentioned that two-headed monster with the running backs. I do want to ask you, though, when you talk about the passing game, Mike Evans returned last week. What kind of a factor does he present, and how different is it with him in the offense?
It's very different. You got to know where Mike's at all times, and find ways to help inside out low or one guy high, one guy low, just try to contain him from having those big explosive plays down the field. And he's going to find work. He's going to find his work, while that's happening, just making sure that, the rest of the defense and all that stays in their leverage and owns what's happening on their side, so not too many people try to give the attention to Mike.
Finally, I want to ask you about Todd Bowles. What makes him so great as a defensive mind, and what do you have to be prepared for?
I mean, first and foremost, talking about Coach Bowles, just the consistency, the toughness, the humility, the way that he encouraged me as a first-time play caller, all those things. So I got to say that first. And then as a defensive coordinator, attacking style. And a coordinator that's not going to let you just sit back there and run your normal plays. He's going to challenge all your protections. He's going to challenge your concepts, all the different things that require the eyes of the running back, being aware of where his work's at, and different types of coverage styles so that your receivers aren't just attacking the same coverages the same way. So, and he's been doing it for so long. He's got a real knack for when to call what, and I'm sure he'll be looking at all of our film, trying to hone in on a couple of tendencies that we have.
Well, Coach, we are looking forward to that game. We know it's going to be a good one. Thank you so much for being so generous with your time. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Kristen.
Up next, Thomas Davis breaks down some of our leftovers from Week 12 and looks at the best weapons cooking for the Bucs on the Panthers Huddle.
Here's the snap, backside pressure, and the Panthers get home. The sack by DJ Wanham. Here's the blitz off the edge. Mahomes hit, and down he goes! On the corner blitz, it's J.C. Horn.
Welcome to TD's Film Room, and I'm going to jump right into this film and show you guys how we were able to get after Patrick Mahomes and make him uncomfortable. Our defensive coordinator did an amazing job of devising a scheme where Patrick Mahomes was never able to really get comfortable. Right here, we'll jump right into this first play. As you can see, this is a great devised scheme. We pause this play right here. He never knew that we were sending our corner on this blitz. J.C. Horn did an amazing job of making sure that he did not give the play away that he was blitzing. Patrick Mahomes was looking the opposite way the entire time. Easy sack for J.C. Horn. But one of the things that I love about this play by J.C. Horn, you see a lot of guys running free at the quarterback. But on this play, J.C., he's kind of taking his time, remaining cool. But once he gets to the quarterback, he stutter steps and really takes his time to make sure that he's able to get Patrick Mahomes on the ground, because usually we'll see a guy kind of hesitate and then step right out of that tackle. But J.C. Horn does a great job of getting him on the ground for a huge sack for this defense. Next up, we want to talk about Bryce Young and his elite game. He had some elite plays from this game against the Chiefs. And as we look at this film right now, this was one of them. Sometimes you have a scheme that's devised as a defense that's going to beat what the offense gives you. Right here, Kansas City sends 7 guys. If you send 7 guys, that's more guys than we have back there to block. So your quarterback has to do a great job of picking up the extra blitzers. Look at what Bryce Young was facing with this blitz scheme that was called. They did a great job, Spagnuolo, calling this blitz, but Bryce Young did an even better job of connecting with David Moore. And this was a 3rd down conversion that allowed us to keep the drive going. So what did we end up getting out of this? We ended up with points on this drive simply because Bryce Young was able to stand in the pocket and deliver an elite pass on this play. As we look ahead to this next matchup against the Bucs, these are some of the things that we have to be in tune to, and it starts with Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield has been a guy all season long that has gotten Tampa out of some bad situations. Right here, as we look at it, the offensive line does an amazing job of making sure that Baker Mayfield has a clean pocket. And as you look, all of these guys right here are covered. He's covered, and Baker Mayfield really has nowhere to go with this football. But what does he do? He improvises. He's done this all season long. The offensive line protected him very well, so now he has the ability to step up and slide through the pocket. And as he does this, Mike Evans, staying the consummate vet that he is, he finds a hole in the zone, and he gets open for his quarterback. Those are some of the things that Tampa has done all season long, and Baker Mayfield was very efficient in this game against the Giants. So as a defense, we have to understand and know even as we cover guys in the interim, we got to stay connected with players as the play breaks down sometimes, because the quarterback, like Baker Mayfield, is looking downfield to continue to complete passes downfield. So that's one of the things that our defense has to be locked into. I want to show you guys one last player for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that has been making waves, and that's Bucky Irvin, their running back. He wasn't their starting running back, but he is sure getting the job done in a big way for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. As you see, Tampa is backed up all the way into their own end zone, but what do? They give the ball to Bucky Irvin, and he makes the New York Giants defense look like high school players. This kid has emerged as one of the most elite backs in the NFL. It kind of reminds me of Christian McCaffrey with the ball in his hand, breaking tackle, smaller in stature, but big in heart, getting down the field and making the Giants look like they've never seen a tackle in their life. So we got to make sure that every single time they hand the ball or throw the ball to Bucky Irvin out of the backfield, we have eyes on him. We have guys committed to making sure that we get him on the ground, because as you can see, he's not looking to go down easy.
That's going to do it for us in this week's edition of the Panthers Huddle. I want to thank Thomas Davis, head coach Dave Canales, and all of you for watching. We'll see you next time, but until then, keep pounding.
You've been watching the Panthers Huddle, a copyrighted presentation of the Carolina Panthers and the NFL.